Okay, the biggest news today, October the 16th in here, Australia, is a great filament that has never ever been seen before. It's the biggest thing on the sun, and it's not a sunspot. It's not even close. It is a giant rift, so massive it would reach the moon from the Earth, and it's measured at 400,000 kilometres long. There it is there. That's the moon up here, the Earth down this end. That distance measures 400,000 kilometres. It is a dark magnetic filament, 20 times wider than a typical sunspot, and it's meandering across the sun's southern hemisphere. It's so big that astrographer Pete Lawrence of Chelsea in the UK had to stitch together several pictures to display the entire structure. This is amazing. The filament is filled with relatively dense plasma held above the stellar surface by magnetic forces. Because this plasma is cooler than the sun below, it appears dark when in fact it is not. If you could hold the filament out against the black of space, it would glow more brightly than a full moon. The 400,000 kilometre scale of the filament, long enough to stretch from Earth to the moon, makes it an easy target for safely filtered backyard optics. The 400,000 kilometre number is repeated as of last month when two flares, one magnetic, was over Christchurch at the same distance apart, when the 7.1 Richter quake took out Christchurch, New Zealand, with no injuries or death, but taking out all the churches. Yahweh, Jesus, he the true King, as a man, Brian Leonard Golightly Marshall, God in the flesh, predicted these events weeks ago. Must be panicking, the Vatican astronomers. Also, there's a massive comet headed towards the Earth. It's called Comet Hartley, or Comet 103P/Hartley. It's growing at an amazing rate, reports Nick Howes of Cherhill, Wiltshire in the UK. The comet's atmosphere, which is called coma, is now more than 1 degree wide. He took this picture on October the 13th using the 2-metre robotic Falks North telescope in Hawaii. There it is there. Comet Hartley is approaching Earth for an 11 million mile close encounter on October the 20th, 2010, just 4 days away. The best time to look is during the dark hours before sunrise, when the comet is almost straight overhead in the constellation Perseus. In the constellation Perseus is Murphach, another important star, the name Murphach meaning the elbow. It is 5,000 times brighter and 62 times bigger in terms of diameter than the Sun. It's a major star. Murphach is one of the brightest stars in the universe. Lying at a distance of 590 light years, it has a brightness of around 1.79. Greek dictionary 590, apodemos, taking a far journey. Constellation Perseus. In mythology, it was the warrior that beheaded the many serpent covering the head of Medusa. It represents the Vatican and its 34,000 denomination churches. There it is there. A solar wind stream flowing from the indicated coronal hole is expected to reach Earth on October the 19th or 20th. There it is there. Next we have a new sunspot, number 1114, joining two others. They're 1112 and 1113, with new activity indicated by the circle. The greatest, most violent solar flare occurred on November the 4th in 2003. The sun, being the domain of Yahweh, pinpoints the destruction of the Vatican. November the 4th, 2003 to October the 15th, 2010 was 362 weeks and 3 days. The sunrise to sunset duration for Rome on October the 15th, 2010 was 666 minutes. Revelation 13:18, quoting, "Here is wisdom, let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 666. That man is the vicar of Christ, the Pope, Lucifer. Lucifer, English gematria, is 74, the same as Jesus, which is 74. The vicar of Christ means he has the power of Jesus and rules the earth with a rod of iron. Here's the Revelation 2:27, quoting, "And he shall rule them with a rod of iron. As the vessels of a potter shall they be broken to shivers, even as I received of my Father, and I will give him the morning star." Now, of course, the Pope rules with a rod of iron, but it's known as the military-industrial complex, and of course it does, it shatters. The name Lucifer has been removed from the newer translations. In the King James 16:11, the word Lucifer in the Strong's Concordance is 1966 and is the morning or morning star. Lucifer. Give in marriage. Lucifer has had its scholars manipulate the concordance, then eliminate the word in newer versions. Revelation 22:16, quoting, "I, Jesus, have sent mine angel to testify unto you these things in the churches. I am the root and the offspring of David, and the bright and morning star." Morning, Greek Dictionary 37:20. Relating to the dawn, that is, matutinal as an epithet of Venus, especially brilliant in the early day, the morning. Here we have the meaning of Venus. It represents the people of the earth that will marry God. Morning star as an epithet of Venus, especially brilliant in the early day, in the morning. Now here is Sirius. Lucifer, the dog star Sirius. Sirius is represented by a dog, and in the concordance, a dog is a homosexual by the way it copulates. There it is there, to yelp or else to attack a dog, hence by euphemism, a male prostitute, dog. Then we have a verse pointing to how the true king would come back to the earth the same way he arrived, born of a woman. Revelation 12:5, quoting, "And she brought forth a man-child, who was to rule all nations with a rod of iron, and her child was caught up unto God and to his throne." Now the difference in the rod of iron that the King of Kings, the Christ, will rule with is that it is for the good and benefit of all mankind, and it will be a dictatorship. The child is born with unique qualifications, the true King and Lord of Israel, which is the 12 nations, 10 of Europe and 2 others, which are America and Australia. The child matures, observes the world of Lucifer, and then destroys it with a sword from his mouth, teaching the world